Alph's log, day 2230-something. It's been over 6 years since me and my crew defeated the Plasm Wraith, and that number is hard to accept. Some days it feels like it's been only 6 weeks, while others make it feel like 60 years. Every time I sleep, my nightmares just keep getting worse and worse. I have flashbacks to that horrible battle, the soldiers we lost that day. Every time Brittany eats her orange jello, I wince a little and begin to cry. I'm anxious. I'm restless. We spent nearly a month trying to find Olimar, but now that the job's been done, I feel useless, without purpose. Just sitting here in the Drake is driving me insane. I need a mission. I need a level editor.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to Highly and Alph Gaming. I'm your host, Alph, and in case you hadn't noticed, today we're talking about Pikmin. More specifically, we'll be talking about Pikmin 4, the game that should probably be out by now. I'm not going to go into detail about why I think the game's been taking so long. Personally, I have no idea, so instead I'll be giving my hopes for the game. I already made this video really early on for my channel, but, okay, I don't really have an excuse to redo that video. It's just kind of old, and now I have more hopes for Pikmin 4. Now that that really badly scripted intro is out of the way, let's find out my hopes for Pikmin 4. Geez, I guess going a couple months without a video completely takes away my ability to write. Anyway, whoosh! For starters, I think it would be pretty cool for Nintendo to implement co-op into the main story of Pikmin 4. We had some bonus modes in Pikmin 3 that had multiple players at once, and I always thought those were a ton of fun. Also in Pikmin 3, the main gameplay was largely about managing 3 captains at once to complete the game's goals. Each Pikmin game so far has had one more playable character than the last, so if Pikmin 4 keeps up this trend, how about letting us play 4-player co-op in the main story? You could still play by yourself if you wanted to, that's definitely how I'd want to play the game my first few times around, but adding that option would be very cool. It might even bring in some new non-Pikmin fans who like co-op multiplayer adventures. Of course, simply letting multiple people play the same file at the same time could come with some issues. Part of the difficulty in Pikmin 3 came from keeping track of up to 3 separate groups throughout the day, so the game would be significantly easier if you just didn't have to do that. Maybe every day would be shortened while playing in co-op to counteract this? Maybe this wouldn't actually be a problem at all since Pikmin isn't a competitive game? Who knows, but I still think it would be cool if Nintendo put co-op into the main story so we could take on our post-apocalyptic Earth with a buddy. I'd still probably prefer solo play, but the option would be very epic. Even if a full-on story mode co-op isn't very likely, I definitely want some new multiplayer bonus modes. If you watched my old hopes for Pikmin 4, you know I loved Bingo Battle, and in Pikmin 4, I want a new mode somewhere in that vein. Maybe a bit more unique than Bingo Battle, it's not like we absolutely need another mode where we collect things and that's it, but any original versus mode would be great. Something to get mad at friends over that would bring a fresher experience to the still very excellent, relaxing solo Pikmin gameplay. The series isn't called Pikmin because of the humans who play it though, it gets its name from the world's favorite brand of carrots. It's obvious that Pikmin 4 will see some number of characters ordering Pikmin around PNF 404, but beyond that there's quite a bit of speculating to be done. How many Pikmin types will appear? What will those Pikmin types be? How many Pikmin can you have on the field at once? I'm not going to spend 8 years coming up with Pikmin type ideas, mostly because I'm not that good at coming up with ideas, but I will address the rest of those concepts. Personally, I think Pikmin 4 will be the first game with more than 5 Pikmin types. I think the reason they scrapped White and Purple Pikmin in Pikmin 3 was because they weren't exactly the best used idea for the gameplay, and they wanted to start fresh. They were a pain to get, a chore to use, and just overall a not very valuable quality of Pikmin 2. Rock and Winged Pikmin, though, were used very well and creatively throughout the entirety of Pikmin 3 in my opinion. They're both like in my top 3 favorite Pikmin types. Behind Blue, of course, I love you guys. But yeah, I think moving forward, Nintendo should keep Rock and Winged Pikmin and build the roster more from there by adding 2 or 3 unspecified new Pikmin types. Adding more varieties of Pikmin could pose another problem, however, in that you'd only be able to have like 10 or 15 of each Pikmin on the field at once if you wanted to take some of each with you. But remember, the Switch is more powerful than the Wii, which is the main system Pikmin 3 was actually developed for, so what if Pikmin 4 is also the first game in this series to have more than 100 Pikmin on the field at once? How many more? That I don't know. It would probably need to be tested along with the Switch's hardware and the levels to reach a good number, but I think the days of the 100 Pikmin limit should be gone. The Switch is bigger and better than all previous Pikmin platforms, so its levels should be bigger, and with bigger levels comes more Pikmin. At least I hope so. Anyway, all that stuff so far has been pretty standard for wishes. More characters, more Pikmin, multiplayer, none of that is a huge stretch for the series. Those are my little hopes for Pikmin 4, but in my eyes, Pikmin is not a little series. As you all know, Nintendo's been doing something special with their major franchises lately on the Switch. They turned Zelda into an open world game, they made Mario more exploration-y than he's ever been, they're turning Animal Crossing into Stardew Valley, so what's next? I say it should be Pikmin. Nintendo has seen great success recently from majorly shaking up some of their biggest games, and I think Pikmin is in need of a shakeup pretty bad. Don't take this the wrong way, Pikmin 3 might be my favorite game of all time, but that's just it. I don't think they could ever top Pikmin 3 with the same formula. Even if Pikmin 4 is as good as Pikmin 3, the 6+ year wait probably won't have been worth it for most people. I'd still love the game to death, but if Pikmin 4 ends up being just another excellent Pikmin game, there'll still be some part of me that's underwhelmed. There will always be a tiny little piece of my mind that wanted something more after that wait of over half a decade. Now, I'm also not trying to say that previous Pikmin games haven't shaken things up either. I'd say that every existing Pikmin game stands out quite a bit from its number neighbors, but while all the levels and stories structures feel different, the gameplay is the same throughout. Again, I love the Pikmin gameplay, but even I can admit the progression isn't the greatest. Basically, all that happens in any of the games is you get Pikmin types unlocked for the first few levels, then beat the levels to get to the end. This formula was very fun for 3 games, but the more time it takes between Pikmin releases, the more stale this formula will get. I'll still love all the traditional Pikmin games I can get, but the system is far from perfect. It basically has the player progress 4 times throughout the game max, and if there's one thing Pikmin needs to change, that's it right there. Throughout the game, more should change than the types of Pikmin at your disposal to somehow make the games even more satisfying to play. I think that to change up the Pikmin series and make the best game possible, the playable characters in Pikmin 4 need to be able to do more than walk around and throw Pikmin. Okay, don't get too freaked out. I'm not saying we should give Olimar a jetpack and a machine gun so he can murder the nearest bulb orb in less than 3 seconds. That would be ridiculous. I'm not even necessarily saying the characters should get some entirely new equipment to work with. What if throughout the game the player was working to upgrade an existing item they already had? Say the whistle, perhaps? Imagine that you got XP or some equivalent every time you killed an enemy or collected something, and you could use that on a skill tree to power up your whistle. You could make it louder to have a bigger call radius. You could make it shriller to call Pikmin back faster. Maybe you could even give it some charged attack that could stun certain enemies. I'm sure I'll thank myself later for writing all these time-consuming special effects into the script, but you get the idea. Upgrading the whistle or something similar to that would add a new sense of progression to Pikmin that wasn't there before, and make Pikmin 4 a fresh, exciting entry in the series. It would be so much more satisfying than getting 4 new Pikmin types total, or finding more Poco's worth of treasure in a cave. To be fair, I haven't presented as huge of a series shakeup as they did with Mario and Zelda, but if Nintendo really runs with the progression idea and even changes the gameplay in some other way to go with it, I think we might just get the best Pikmin game possible. And with that, let's wrap up the video. To recap, I want Pikmin 4 to have all the stuff you'd expect a new Pikmin game to have, more characters, more Pikmin types, etc., but I also want Nintendo to shake up the franchise like they've been doing recently. They could do this a few ways, but I think the best way would be to add a stronger sense of progression to the games. Give us some new ability or let us level up an old ability more times, and that's the key to a better Pikmin. And a level editor. I also want a level editor. Thanks for watching, everyone. Do you have the same hopes for Pikmin 4 as I do, or do you think I'm a total loser with garbage ideas? Make sure to let me know down in the comments, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and have a great day.